Hey guys, Andrew McFarland here from StartAJuiceBar.com. Hope you're happy, hope you're healthy, excited to start your businesses or grow your existing businesses. Today we are talking about starting your juice business from home, and we are doing a deep dive on this topic. I did do a video about this probably over a year ago, and there are some things that I didn't share in that video that I also want to update. There are things I want to go deeper on. Also, I would say that some people weren't the happiest about that video because of some of the maybe hard truths or some things that people just didn't agree with. And so I'm going to clear all that up, and we're going to dive really deep into this topic. So if you haven't seen that video, don't worry. We're going to cover topics that are there and more. If you have seen that video, you definitely want to stay for this update. Before we dive in though, if you guys are new, you don't know who I am, and you don't know what we do, over the last decade, myself and our company has run our own juice bar concepts, as well as helping hundreds of people all over the world launch, scale juice trucks, juice bars, every kind of concept in this healthy food service sector that you can imagine. So all the information on this channel is coming from this wealth of experience. Early invitation, press the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you get alerted when we release new content. Now let's dive in. So if you're watching this video, more than likely you either have a juice business that you're running from home and you want to really understand a little bit more about what's going on, get a new perspective, or you're thinking about starting a juice business and you're thinking to start from home or unsure if you should start from home, or maybe you start a juice truck, or maybe you start a storefront, and the implications for all of these models are very different, and we're going to dive into all of it. And so the thing that I find most often is that it's important to ask yourself, with whatever model you decide to approach your business with, why is it that you are taking this approach? Okay? It's not to say that there is a right or wrong answer. Whether you start a storefront, you start a juice truck, you start a delivery business from home or otherwise, there's no right answer. But there are implications to your specific business model from a financial standpoint, meaning how much is it going to cost you to start the business and maintain the business? How much is it going to cost you in terms of marketing the business and the needs there? There are all manner of implications depending on your business model. And so today we are going to specifically focus on starting a juice business from home. I am going to compare and contrast things probably throughout this video, but let's keep that as the point of focus because that's what we're talking about. So what are some of the benefits, let's discuss, of starting your juice business from home? It can be, now not always, it can be less expensive in terms of startup cost. Now, there are some things that you need to be aware of when it comes to doing this in a way that is compliant. Because I know a lot of people who start these businesses are not in compliance, and I'm not saying that from a place of judgment. It's just a place of understanding what the environment is that you're in and understand the implications and what that might lead to in terms of risk, benefit, and so forth. But if you're going to do it in a way that's in compliance with the health department, first you have to check in with them to see what they require, because every state, every city has different requirements. But more likely than not, if it is an opportunity for you, you are going to have to modify your kitchen, or maybe you're going to have to retrofit your garage, or you're going to have some space where you are in compliance with the health department, where you've got washable surfaces everywhere, you've got proper storage, depending on how much volume you're projecting on doing. You've got sinks to clean things, so on and so forth, right? You have to be in compliance with the health department. Now, outside of just being in compliance, it's actually really intelligent to have a facility in your home that is designed for this kind of production, because one of the biggest challenges that you may have in your home, outside of other things, but just might be actually storing the ingredients. It might be having the proper space to clean the ingredients and clean your equipment, because most people's homes are not designed to do large scale and large volume food service. And so it's very different when you have enough storage for a family and you guys are cooking 3 meals a day, maybe, and it's maybe 4 or 5 people in your home, to transitioning to the amount of fresh produce that you're going to need to potentially process 30 to 50 or more juices per day. Okay, it's a totally different thing. So even irrespective of the compliance that you need to be in with your local health department, just from a functional standpoint, being able to produce your products in a timely fashion, in a sanitary, in a productive and meaningful way, it does take some consideration. And this goes for a storefront as well, or a juice truck. There are always considerations around how you design your space in order to produce your product, because you are in the manufacturing business, whether you realize it or not. A lot of times when people get into food service, they think, oh, I'm just serving customers and I have this product. But no, you are in food manufacturing. That's what you're in. And so when you're in manufacturing, you think about efficiency of processes. It's no different, no matter where you are or what scale you're in. So that's the first thing. So one of the benefits, yes, is that the investment is generally less, but you may have to make a small or more significant investment in making your home more compliant with the health department. So that's one of the benefits. The second thing, you might say, but it's kind of a paradox as it comes to having a smaller business, is there's less responsibility on one level, meaning you don't have as many employees generally, so there's less to be responsible for there. And I'm assuming, if you own your home, you've got a mortgage, you have less responsibility because you're not signing a long-term lease. And therefore, if things don't go well, you're not stuck and on the hook for that lease and either subleasing that place or having to pay the lease out, right? Which if you do have a storefront, that is something to consider. But like I was saying, paradoxically, sometimes having smaller businesses makes things a little bit more difficult because you do not have as many people to delegate things to. So on one level, we can say it's easier and it reduces your liability and reduces maybe your workload on some front when it comes to people management, but it will increase your workload if you're the only person that's there doing the work, or maybe it's you and one other person, because maybe the cash flow doesn't allow you to hire other people and delegate to other people. So overall, the primary reason that I see a lot of people start these businesses from home is usually because they want a low liability, seemingly and sometimes truthfully, more accessible means of starting their business and seeing how they can build momentum and build brand and maybe generate some income for their concept. And these are all really, really great things and all totally possible when you have a home-based business. Now, for me, in my perspective, and the reason that this channel is important, because I'm not in the position, or I'm not a fan of people who are just going to tell you, oh, do this and everything's going to be great and it's important, because we're entrepreneurs or aspiring entrepreneurs on this channel. And the most important thing is that you are successful and you launch your business intelligently. I have no desire to fluff people up and tell someone to go invest time and energy and money in something if there are going to be challenges that are unseen that I can make you guys aware of beforehand. And so with that being said, you guys know, if you've watched the other video or if not, there are challenges that comes with running a business from home that you have to be aware of if you're going to do it. I'm not here to tell you what you should and shouldn't do. I'm here to inform you. Here are the implications potentially if you start this business, from what I've seen and what I know about this industry of after having been in it for over 11 years. Okay, so to kind of build this picture so you understand the fundamentals and the economics of this business, the first thing you have to understand is that when you're in food service, you are in a high volume, low margin business. What does that mean? High volume means you have to sell a lot of sales. So let's say we're selling cups. Maybe you make a penny per cup, okay? You have to sell a lot of cups before you're going to make $1 million net, okay? That means high volume, low margin. Now, those aren't the exact numbers. I'm just using this as an example. But the difference with selling cups versus selling food service products is this cup won't go bad. I don't know how long we've owned this mug. Long time, okay? If this was an Apple, it wouldn't still be here. That means that I have a demand to turn over my product at a certain frequency. So this is the first key thing to understand about this industry that makes it unique. The second thing is that you have wholesale minimums when you purchase. If I was to purchase these cups, guaranteed, I can't just buy one. If I went to a retail store, I could buy one, right? But most places nowadays, if you're gonna buy cups for a business and you want to get good margins on them, I have to buy them wholesale, and I might have a minimum order of 1,000, let's say. The same thing goes for your business with food service. So what happens is a lot of times when people are starting from home is they end up in a situation where they don't have the demand yet to order their products from wholesalers, so they end up going to grocery stores. But when they go to grocery stores, the catch-22 is that they're losing the margin. So they don't become profitable enough to then keep reinvesting and growing their business. Now, this isn't always the case, and this is why it's important to do your menu costing so you really know exactly what your margins are. Because the last thing you want to do is be working hard, selling a lot of products, and then at the end of the month find out, wow, we've lost money, or we've just broken even and we're not profitable. Right? You want to make it profitable. So the important thing to understand is, what are your margins? So this is one of the bigger challenges when it comes to working from home. Now, this is sort of part of a bigger, this is sort of a specific point in the bigger philosophical vantage point of starting your juice business from home. It is, what are your goals, right? Because your goals might not be economic. When starting a business, you can have many, many goals. And I often say too that in the first phase of any business, your main priority really shouldn't be getting rich or making a ton of money. It should really be brand awareness, learning, and market saturation, right? Getting exposure. Then the money will come if you do these things correctly. Okay, you do have to get to the point where it's at least getting closer to being sustainable so you can persist and keep doing it. But getting rich isn't always the goal in your first phase. Right? So if your goal and realization is maybe working from home, you may not make a ton of money. And I'm not saying that you can't make money, you can, but you may not make a ton of money fast enough to really scale your business at a reasonable time frame. And I did a whole video on this specific topic. I'll link it at the end of this video. It's called The Velocity of Money in Your Juice Bar. It's going to do a deeper dive on why that aspect is important. But just as an overarching theme of understanding that there are different vehicles, and I often use this analogy. If you think about getting onto a freeway, right? What's the most optimal vehicle to get onto a freeway? Probably a Ferrari, if you want to go fast and you want to go far, okay, in a short period of time. But a Ferrari is expensive. And so some people might say, okay, well, I can afford a bicycle. Well, if you get on a bicycle and you get onto the freeway, you might get injured, you might die. So that's not the best idea, but that's sometimes what people can afford. And so if that's the situation you're in, then the question is, how do you build a Ferrari while you're riding your bicycle at the same time? So there's a strategy there. So at a high level, what do I see happen? And I'm going to get to what I suggest you do if you do start from home and you start to think, okay, great, I'm building some momentum. People like my product. People are responding to the brand. I'm getting a lot of orders. And maybe I get to a situation which this happens most often, is when people call me, they say, okay, I've been running my business from home for a year, for 2 years, give or take, right? And things are going well. People are really excited about my products. I'm actually so busy. I don't have a ton of time. I have a full-time job. I have a family. I'm really, really busy and trying to deliver these orders and make these orders. I'm not making a ton of money, and I'm really ready to take my business to the next level. Okay, so now you're at a point where that's good. You've got brand awareness. You've got people who like your product, so you're getting good feedback. You've got a captive audience that if you do open a storefront, maybe people are like, they're ready to visit you. Now it's time to raise money for your project. And all the energy that you've put into your business is really not lost, because you've got people who the customers might be the best people to invest in your business, or who know people who might be interested in investing in your business. Okay? So I would put a business plan together, or reach out to a company like ours. You can reach out to me specifically, Andrew at StartAJuiceBar.com, and have us put a business plan together for you. If you don't have the time or energy or feel confident and capable of doing that, then you take your business plan and you shop it around as you are raising money, as you are developing and serving your customers with your product. You use your business plan to raise money for the business. Okay? So this is why you're building the Ferrari as you're on the bicycle, merging onto the freeway. You're transitioning into the right vehicle to help you grow and scale your business. Because starting from home has advantages, like I'll say, economically in the very beginning. Generally, the startup is a bit less. Okay, the management of people is definitely less. So those are all pros. On the downside, yes, it's probably going to be a bit more work for you physically when it comes to buying produce, making the product, delivering the product, because if you're not making enough money and you don't have savings to hire other people, it's going to require that you do 100% of the work yourself. Okay? This is why my experiences is running smaller businesses is actually harder than running larger businesses. And the last thing that I want to point out that I didn't mention before is that most important question, or one of the more important questions, I should say, that you need to ask yourself when starting is, if you have competitors in your market, why are people going to order from you instead of them? And I don't mean just other online juice businesses. I mean actual businesses with storefronts. Because if someone is familiar with the brand, they know they can walk in and talk to the manager if they have a complaint. These companies are on Uber Eats and Grubhub. You really have to answer that question of, why are people going to order from you? And if you can't answer that question, I definitely suggest you think about it to create a unique position or strategy to make sure that people order from you over these other companies. Now, also, you have to present your company in a way that is equally as professional, if not more, to gain brand trust than these other competitors in your market. And this is why your website has to be beautiful, your branding has to be beautiful, your social media has to be great and build trust, which oftentimes is not the case from what I observe. Okay, so this is some of the key things that you have to be aware of if you do decide to start from home. What are your expectations and what does success mean to you? What are your margins for your product? Okay, how many units do you have to sell in order to be profitable to the degree that you desire based on what your definition of success actually is? And then what is your strategy to go from a home-based business to maybe even having a commercial kitchen elsewhere where you can do higher volume, or opening up a truck, or opening up a storefront? So what is your 1 year, 3 year, and 5 year plan? And how can you work your way backwards to say, these are the things I'm going to need to do in order to hit these benchmarks to take my business to the next level at each key stage that I'm aware of? Okay, so like I said in the beginning, I'm not in the place to tell you what you should and should not do. My goal and role in all of this is to inform you as to the implications of the decisions that you're making so you can make educated decisions and reach your goals in the time frame that you desire, okay? And know that you don't always have to start step by step from a home-based business. We've got many clients who just decide, I'm gonna open up my juice truck right away, or I'm gonna raise money and open up a storefront. That might be an option for you too, okay? So if you wanna talk about that or anything else, reach out to me personally at Andrew@StartAJuiceBar.com. We can talk about how we can help you with their full spectrum business development. If you haven't pressed the like button yet, press the like button. If you haven't subscribed, you definitely want to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, follow us on Instagram at StartAJuiceBar. We have exclusive giveaways, exclusive content that we only release there. And then lastly, if you like podcasts, the Juice Bar Experts podcast on Spotify and on iTunes. You can listen while you drive, while you clean your house, or whatever you want to do. Stay informed, stay educated. Until next time, wishing you guys a lot of success. Hope you're happy and healthy. We're here, and our goal is to create a world where there are more juice bars and healthy cafes than unhealthy food service businesses. And we need all of you to be educated and informed and empowered so we can do this together. So until next time, this is Andrew McFarland with StartAJuiceBar.com. See you soon. Hope you guys have been enjoying the video content. If you are inspired to launch your juice business, but you're not exactly sure what steps to take, for you, we've created a free ebook, 15 Steps to Starting a Juice Business from Scratch. This is going to give you a high-level overview of everything you need to do from where you are now all the way to opening your business. Now, if you want to go even deeper, we've created an online course, the Juice Bar Master Blueprint. This is going to go into great detail into every aspect of starting your business, everything from branding to menu development to finding the right location, the equipment that you need, and so much more, all the way to launching your business. There's links for both of these in the description below. I know you're going to find a lot of value out of them. As always, hope you guys are happy and healthy, wishing you a lot of success, and I'll see you at the next video.